Hello everyone. In this video, I'll show you how to replace the bearings on an Indesit front-loading washing machine. This washing machine is the IWSD61051 model, and its drum has started to wobble. To make sure that the drum bearings are actually broken, you need to gently rock the drum. Side to side, up and down, you can see the play. Or spin it. You'll definitely hear a distinct rattling sound. This clearly means that you urgently need to replace the worn-out bearings before the crucial drum spider completely breaks and causes further damage. The drum spider. In this washing machine, the tub is non-separable, so you'll have to cut it open. So, make sure you have a fine-toothed saw without set teeth ready in advance. To remove the tub with the drum, the first thing you need to do is take off the washing machine's top cover. Unscrew these two screws at the back with a Phillips screwdriver. Slide the cover slightly backward so it comes off the front latches, and then it comes off. Next, unscrew the 6 self-tapping screws on the rear cover and remove the rear cover. You can see rust streaks on the rear cover as well as on the back of the tub, which indicates that the seal is already faulty. Water was getting into the bearings and leaking out here. After that, use a 10mm socket to unscrew the 3 bolts securing the top weight. And remove it from the tub. It's quite heavy and solid. Next, you need to remove the detergent drawer. For this, we'll need a flathead screwdriver. Pull out the detergent drawer, and underneath it, there are latches on the left and right that need to be pushed aside. Insert the flathead screwdriver. First, push aside one side, so it comes out, and then do the same on the other side. In the same way. Here it is, it's out. There are these little catches here that prevent it from falling out when you open it. After that, you need to remove this housing. The detergent drawer. To do this, unscrew the 3 screws at the front, 2 on top and 1 on the bottom using a Phillips screwdriver. And after that, you need to remove the front panel with the control unit. To do this, disconnect both sides. These 2 groups right here. They look like this, then unclip them at the bottom. These 2 latches right here. It starts to come loose. Remove the wire with the clip. And disconnect this connector here from the control board. Now you can remove the board along with the front panel. After that, using a Phillips screwdriver, we unscrew this panel on the back of the washing machine. After that, disconnect the 2 connectors on the valves. We can see that the green wires go to the black connector and the white ones go to the white connector. You can't mix up the white one here. Disconnect the secure wire holders at their designated respective locations and detach them from this housing of the detergent dispenser. This hose right here, it's a very tight hose. After that, you need to remove the clamp securing this gasket. At the bottom of the spring, take a flathead screwdriver find the spring, disengage it, and remove the entire clamp around the edge. The spring might be at the bottom or on the side. Regardless of its position, it serves its purpose. And after that, remove the gasket from the rim at the front of the housing and tuck it inside. Now pull back the rubber seal. We remove it from this edge. And in addition to that, furthermore, it is also important to note that tuck the rubber band inside. After that, we remove the pressure switch. To do this, loosen the clamp. On the hoses, remove the hose from the pressure switch. And it needs to be removed so it doesn't get in our way. Disconnect the fastener. And now, this component truly needs to be carefully removed. Here, you can see it's securely held in place by these very small, intricate latches. Unfortunately, one of them has already come completely off. You need to press the second one so it comes off. Here, I took a knife. Now it will be easier to press. Press one side and then press the other. There, the pressure switch is carefully removed. After that, you will need to gently remove the drive belt from the main pulley. This step ensures proper access and prevents damage to other components. Turn it slightly and it comes off into your hands. The belt is still in good condition, not worn out, so it will last a while longer. Now disconnect all the connectors from the heating element. Here, the distinctive yellow-green wire is the essential ground connection, and these are the specific primary power wires, the blue one and the brown one. And also remove this connector from the control unit. There's nothing complicated here. Now disconnect the connector for the electric motor and the motor holding circuit. Now the whole bundle of wires is outside. Now unscrew the two bolts securing the motor so that you can remove it. You'll also need a 10mm socket here. To make it easier to remove the motor, I'll turn the washing machine on its side, lay it down, and after that, it will be easier to take out. Now, with a steady and controlled motion, gently pull the motor assembly directly towards you. You will find that it comes off very easily and smoothly, without any resistance or the risk of it falling unexpectedly. The motor is still in good condition. No. There are no burn marks and it will still serve for some time. After that, carefully, under the drum, gently squeeze this clamp and then slowly remove the hose completely from the pump mechanism. This is the tank drain hose and now a 10mm socket. We unscrew the lower part of the shock absorbers, these two right here. Unless they are the type with washers, and then move the shock absorbers upward. We set them aside. So the nuts don't get lost, I'll loosely screw them on here for now. After that, we set the washing machine upright and we'll remove the tank. We carefully take these two sturdy springs and gently elevate the entire tank up. After that, we remove the block, the counterweight. We don't need it for now. Next, we carefully and securely place this substantial tank onto a robust car inner tube, which provides a convenient and stable base for easy maneuverability and transport. Now we remove this end. You'll need an 8mm socket here. First, use the socket to loosen the nut, but don't take it off completely. Now we push it inward. You can carefully remove this heating element with a screwdriver. Gently lift it up with a flathead screwdriver. There, I pried it up well with the screwdriver, and it started coming out completely. It's a bit tight but doable. You can see that the heating element is still in good condition. There's a bit of scale on it, but it will still work for a while. After that, I'll take bolts like these, with nuts 4 mm in diameter, a 4 mm drill bit, and around the perimeter of this drum at the joint, I'll drill about 10 to 12 holes. I'll be drilling in those spots, although there are some slight thickenings, for example here. There's more at the bottom and less at the top, because at the bottom there's a higher chance of leakage. There's this kind of bulge, which is actually convenient. To cut open the welded drum of a washing machine, we'll need a saw like this, with sharp teeth and no set. Mine is inexpensive, but it all depends on your preferences. The teeth can be medium-sized or very fine. You can also use metal files like these with fine teeth. This way, the cut will be smoother, but the work will take longer. This job is not easy. Then bolts with nuts like these, also 4 mm in diameter, will be inserted into these holes, like this. And here, it will be securely tightened. You need to carefully cut very precisely so as not to accidentally cut off this delicate thin edge, otherwise the drum could be irreparably damaged and won't form a watertight seal effectively afterwards. Saw off all the unnecessary parts that run precisely along the designated seam line here. They are not critically important and will not negatively affect the washing machine's overall performance. Work very carefully and slowly so as not to ruin the drum with a single wrong cut. I've already started sawing here. With small, precise and short movements, carefully saw the drum strictly along the designated seam, right in the exact center of the material. Don't insert the saw too deep, so as not to damage the surface of the drum. I'm sawing off all these little tails. Once you feel that this particular section is completely cut through, then carefully turn the drum over and with great caution continue sawing. In the most absolutely critical areas, I carefully use a fine-tooth saw in order to meticulously avoid causing any damage whatsoever. I've cut the tank, so now I can start replacing the bearings. You can see that the cut is even, with no bends or burrs. Of course, I'll clean it up later to remove any irregularities. And after carefully replacing the worn bearings, we'll then put everything back together securely using specialized plumbing silicone. And immediately after that crucial step, you can carefully and completely remove the entire drum assembly from its secure position within the tank. Then proceed to meticulously unscrew this specific and important bolt that firmly secures the rotating shaft in place. To unscrew this specific stubborn bolt, you will need to effectively use an appropriate TX40 Torx bit. If the stubborn drum, which is firmly lodged and doesn't want to easily come out of its designated housing within the tank, you will then, as a necessary measure, need to carefully but firmly apply force to knock it out. To successfully accomplish this task, you should carefully select another bolt of the precisely appropriate diameter, then meticulously screw it in all the way until it is firmly seated, and only then, very carefully, begin the process of knocking it out from its position. You need to either hang it up or set it on its side and hit it from the side with a hammer. There. It's finally out. As you can clearly see, the delicate spider is completely intact. I was genuinely worried it might accidentally break during the process. But there is a problem with the bearings and the seal. You can see there were leaks, everything was leaking, the grease came out, some kind of thick grease, and there are some oxidations. And all of this needs to be replaced to make it easier to remove the seal and the bearings. I'm going to use a WD-40 equivalent lubricant. We'll wait for it to soak in and then we'll knock it out. After that, use a flat screwdriver to take out this seal, which is already worn out. The seal is out, with a lot of resistance. You can see that its race is very oxidized. Everything here is white. I think we'll have the same problem knocking out the bearings because everything here is oxidized. Now we clean the seating area and then we'll try to knock out the bearings. We'll lubricate everything well with WD-40 to make it come out more easily. To knock out the bearing, I'll use this small blunt chisel with a weight. It's helped me out more than once before. We'll knock out the outer bearing first, then the inner one, because the inner one will be harder to remove. There, the bearing has fallen out. As you can see, the outer one is still more or less okay, but it's already starting to stick. Now let's start knocking out the inner bearing. It's usually harder to remove. In this case, this tool works really well. Here's my little device. In the end, I knocked out this kind of bearing, all rusty and completely unusable. It has a lot of play, only good for scrap metal. Let's go buy a new one. So I bought 2 bearings and an oil seal for replacement. The bearings are sized 17 by 40 by 12 and 15 by 35 by 11. And the oil seal is 10 by 11.5. Now we'll assemble everything in reverse order. I also bought some high quality specialized grease. To begin, we will first clean the entire bearing seat and then apply a generous amount of the specialized Rally Dual lubricant to it. Just a little bit. Using a drift of the appropriate diameter, we'll put the bearing in place. With light taps, there, it's in place. Now let's put the inner bearing in its place. Also grease the seat so that it goes in smoothly. And we'll install the inner bearing using this simple device. There are 2 washers here and 1 bolt. We'll set it on one side and tighten from the other. Remove the custom homemade tool and then the inner bearing is already securely pressed into place. No impacts or damage. It runs smoothly and without any issues. After that, we'll sand it down well with sandpaper on both cut surfaces. This particular procedure will effectively smooth out any noticeable bumps and create a very fine, consistent texture that significantly helps the sealant properly bond to the plastic surface and securely stay put in its intended position. We'll sand the second surface as well. Next, we'll put the oil seal in its place. I will lightly and very effectively grease the entire perimeter with a thick, protective lubricant to keep water completely out of this area. And then we will carefully set it firmly in its proper place using a precisely sized mandrel of the correct diameter. There, the part is in place. In the next step, we'll lightly polish this surface that will be in contact with the oil seal. There are small grooves here where water could leak through. I'll also clean this pulley seat because the bearing will be fitted onto it. And it was a very tight fit. I'll use very fine sandpaper for this. To begin, we will carefully polish this dull bronze part until it truly shines brightly with a brilliant luster. Very gently, so it's barely affected because it's easy to ruin. Clean it unevenly. This particular shaft became quite severely rusted because it was continuously exposed to water for an extended period of time, specifically due to a persistently leaking oil seal. Now, both the shaft itself and its corresponding mounting washer have been meticulously cleaned to a brilliant, gleaming shine. I will now carefully lubricate them thoroughly with the exact same type of high-quality grease to not only make it considerably easier to smoothly install the new bearing, but also to ensure a much better and more effective sealing mechanism, thereby preventing any unwanted water from getting in here whatsoever. After that, we will carefully pack a generous amount of high-quality grease into this specific groove of the oil seal, ensuring that there is a perfectly tight and impenetrable seal here, thereby preventing any unwanted water from getting in and causing potential damage. It is absolutely crucial not to skimp on the grease. Any excess amount will simply come out naturally during the process, and whatever remains securely inside will continue to work effectively and reliably for a very long period of time. Gently smooth it out a little bit with your fingers, making sure there are absolutely no empty spaces or air pockets left whatsoever. And now, with everything properly prepared and sealed, we will carefully put the drum back into its original and correct place. All the way. Absolutely, completely through the entire process. In. Please tighten it very firmly and securely so that it absolutely does not come loose during its operation. Following that, you are able to check how the bearing effectively works. You can clearly observe that the bearings are securely and correctly in their designated place, ensuring the drum doesn't wobble at all. There's absolutely no play or looseness, and crucially, no rumbling sounds or any other unusual noise is present. Therefore, with these positive confirmations, you can confidently proceed to reassemble the entire tank unit by meticulously following the reverse order of disassembly. And after that, thoroughly degrease the surface with a degreaser. Powerful and effective degreaser solution does a great job cleaning off oil residues. It's very effective. After that, we'll use a hairdryer to thoroughly dry the surfaces that will be glued together. In the very next crucial step, I will carefully take this high-quality silicone sealant and thoroughly, completely coat both of the critical seams that absolutely need to be securely glued and sealed. Here's this white silicone. It should bond well. Let's see. We apply the sealant to the seam. Apply it generously. Don't be stingy. I'll spread it well with my fingers. so it gets into all the tiny pores, every single one of them. And there won't be any significant difficulties later on. And in the same way, we coat the second surface. Here, I won't spread it anymore, just on the surface. And after that, we put the second part in place. The second part. We start fastening it with bolts and tighten the bolts evenly with nuts. This is how it turned out for me. To fasten the two halves of the tank together using bolts. I won't use self-tapping screws. I think bolts are more reliable. The distance between them is about 10 centimeters. That should be enough for the washing machine to work. After that, we put the heating element back in place. I cleaned it with acid. Now it will transfer heat better. To make installing the heating element easier, I'll lubricate the rubber gasket with detergent, so it fits into its groove better. And we put the heating element in place. There it is, in its place. Now we tighten this nut all the way, another 10 turns. It's been 24 hours, the silicone has set, and now we can check how the washing machine works. I've connected it to the power supply. Let's see how it operates. The machine washes quietly without noise and doesn't jump around. I've set it to the maximum spin speed, 1000 revolutions per minute. So far there are no problems. The test was successful and the washing machine works like new. So, replacing the bearings in the washing machine was worth it. You have just watched a video on how to replace the bearings in an Indesit washing machine. Leave your feedback and comments, like the video, subscribe to our channel, stay with us, and goodbye to everyone.